Alright, you can go ahead and turn it off now.
Water pump off.
It's pretty cool. This is a 2007 Newmar Dutch Star. My customer just had a new floor installed because there was a water leak, and the water leak was coming from the toilet, and the toilet was a Aria 2, and the water valve on the back of it was leaking. So put a new floor in, new toilet, and he has a water leak. Now it's coming from here on this side, which I trace back to the shower. It's going down in the basement. That's actually how I found it. There's water leak here, and yeah. So the good news is it wasn't the toilet that was leaking. The bad news is it was something else that was leaking. They're actually have to tear the shower apart and take a look at it. I'll see you on the flip side. Man, don't you just hate it when you record something and then can't find the footage? At any rate, the leak was actually coming from half-inch unions or couplers. There's 3 of them on the mixer valve there. You can kind of see 2 of them. One of them at the top I already took off on the mixer, or the line going up to the shower head there. All 4 of them were actually leaking. It was the plastic failure. It was very strange. I'll show you another video, a look at it at the end, but it was leaking down below when you're running the shower. Only shower. So I'm just going to take out the whole valve body and put new couplers on it. I'm going to go with brass ones. Obviously the gray ones seem to be having a problem. I wouldn't be surprised if this last one on here also was eroding away, because if you look at this one on this hot side, it's been replaced with what looks like a irrigation stub. Alright, so let me take this one off. Alright, got that loosened up. Let's see how this looks. Well, I'm going to say it's starting to erode right there. Let's see if we can't lock on that. So yeah, that was going to go next, so it's a good thing we're doing all of these. I don't see it poking through yet, but it seems like it's probably just a matter of time before that would have gone too. Alright, so I'm going to eliminate this plastic Questa coupler right there, or that union, and use a brass one. Shouldn't have that problem now, brass body. But what this doesn't have is these ends right here are flat. Just have a lock on. There you go. So the Quest one was tapered. I don't know if you can see that right there. So the washer's been a little bit deformed. That's the cone washer on these swivels. So to make sure that it seals properly, I'm going to change out the cone washers on the swivel fittings, or the swivel fittings itself. So that's the swivel fitting. I already put a new one on. The end up to the shower head right there. So hopefully that should solve any potential problems of that cone washer not sealing properly. So let me just go ahead and change out all these fittings here and put it back in place, and we'll give it a shot. Focus. Alright, so there's a new valve body. This is a high quality one. I don't know what it is. Let's see. It's not labeled that I can see. That doesn't matter. So I got the new brass unions on there. Brass couplers, whatever you want to call them. I guess they're calling them a hex nipple. Ever built. Nipple. What I have to do next is get the shower head back up into there. Now, the shower head actually isn't up there. There's an adapter for a shower hose to hook up to.
that goes right up there. So I have, this has to feed up through the wall into that hole, but the top of this is supposed to be mounted firmly to framing. It wasn't even mounted very well. In fact, it was quite loose. So I have to come up with something to be able to feed up to there and secure up to there. I'm gonna see what I can do. All right, so this is what I've come up with. This is the framing that came out with it. I cut it down a little bit, used it as a spacer block, got a nice stainless steel screw up there. So I'm gonna feed this up from behind. I'll stick out the hole there, then I can run screws from the paneling into this framing here. So that should at least keep it somewhat strong, or stationary, so it doesn't move a lot. You can kind of see the framing that's still in there. Got the valve body back in. It's actually an American standard if you look at that. So I just looked everywhere but there. So I have it back in place. I did feed it all the way up through the wall there. And I got some not self-tapping, but some stainless steel wood screws that are going into that frame I showed you. I wish these would be covered more, but I don't think they're gonna be. But this is at least well in place. And luckily I already put Teflon tape, otherwise it would have been a pain to try to get Teflon tape on there. So I should be able to tighten this up. And ideally, the more I tighten it, the more it gets cinched down, focus, to the wall anyway. And then I might have to do something hackneyed that I'm not gonna be too proud of. That is, once I have it tightened, get some white silicone and just go around there, and that should hide everything that's going on right here. All right, so I just have to tighten this up a little bit more. And that is just about straight. So those screws are just barely visible, but this is nice and tight now. Like I said, a little bit of white silicone should hide the rest of that. But I can't move it, and I need a wrench to tighten it up. It's either that, or if we go around to the other side, the refrigerator's right there, and a pocket door's right there. I take the refrigerator out, open up the back wall there, just to have a little bit of a cleaner install, but that seems like an awful lot of work just to hide something you'll never even notice. So, let's put this back together. All right, well, I guess before we actually put that back together, I want to make sure nothing leaks, so let me get my work cloth out of the way. I'll just turn the water pump on. I know I already checked in here to make sure those weren't leaking, but now I just have to turn that on. Don't see anything leaking that way. Let's look down under here. Don't seem to be leaking anymore. That's good news. I got the valve body back mounted to the custom bracket here from Newmar. They used these tiny little screws to hold it to the fiberglass, and these weren't holding it at all. So I've upgraded the bigger stainless steel screws, and that one was stripped out completely, so I had to drill a new hole. I just have to put the cover on and seal it up, and it'll be done. And I'll probably just do some clear silicone up there, not white. That'll hide it better, I think, clear, because it's barely exposing those screws. All right, well, I'm just sealing this guy up. Now, traditionally, I leave a little bit of a weep hole in the silicone underneath. So if water does get back behind here, it has a way back out. You can kind of see what I'm talking about right there. Right there. There it is. Leave a little bit of a gap right there. Do my best to try to make this look good. That's all sealed up. I did put a clear silicone around there. It pretty much hid it. So we're looking good there. I just have to clean up and we'll be all done. Well, obviously it's easy to clean up in the shower because you can just rinse off everything you need to clean off. And there we go. Brand new. Well, it's not brand new, but it's working. I just keep that hose cleaned up out of the way so that I don't get it in my still wet silicone. So here are those fittings. Well, some of them. At any rate, this is the Quest type fitting. It's polybutylene, I think that's what it's called. Yeah. And apparently, it wasn't just the plumbing itself, it was the plastic fittings. I thought it was just the plumbing that actually went bad, but the chlorine in the water actually oxidizes and erodes this plastic away. It's kind of... So I guess this is actually a bigger problem than I thought it was. So there it is. Even though you might have PEX installed in your motorhome, you might have polybutylene anyways in these connectors. So that was crazy. Let's see, that was the worst one. I think this is the one that was leaking, right? Yeah, you should be able to see light coming through there. Yeah, there's the hole. So there's the answer. Polybutylene. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I know it's been a while since I posted a repair or any sort of useful video. It's just really been quite hectic and busy at the shop lately. Definitely it's in the season down here in Arizona. I really am trying. I'm struggling to film something for you guys. But thanks a lot for hanging in there. Bye. Don't leak that way, dummy. Stop it. Stop. Alright, and then I made a mess thoroughly.